Aloha, Big Island. Yang Gang update for December 4th. Alrighty, today at Twitter feed, so many people have been showing up to Andrew's events that they've had to take away chairs and tables. It's standing room and he's standing on tables trying to be within the fire code. But tell you what, a lot of people in New Hampshire are going to shock the nation, and also Iowa. He's done a lot of extensive canvassing and a lot of extensive talks and speeches there. The people are involved and they understand that he's there for the people. They're asking questions that no other candidate's able to answer. Has data, statistics, and is talking about the future. Very interesting. If you haven't seen any of these videos thusly, check out some of our previous updates for the Big Island. Get well informed, or you can just go to the channels that are listed in the description today. If you have any suggestions or comments for the channel and you're on the Big Island, please reach out to us at yangganghawaii@gmail, or just throw them in the comments section below. Alrighty, and let's see, New Hampshire is just going to take the nation by surprise, surprise, surprise. If Andrew was on there commenting about what Sleepy Joe Biden was talking about, he said something along the lines of coal miners should be able to code. We should teach them how to code, which is the complete opposite to Andrew's stance, and he just called him out on it. He's like, no, he's wrong. Long story short, there's another thing in there about a 16-year-old asked about paid family leave. His mother died 4 years ago, and he said it was extremely taxing on his family. It affected his aunt, his grandmother, and his father wasn't even able to take off of work because they wouldn't have been able to afford it. So that's something they had to deal with, which is great. So he asked Yang if he was going to be able to address that, and Andrew came back with some amazing statements. Check that out in the Twitter feed as well. Reddit. Ohio and all of Yang Gang should be contacting the Secretary of State and asking why they don't have the right to process the bureaucratic paperwork, which is leaving Andrew off the ballot in Ohio. WTF, remember Republicans voting in a chicken bucket in 2016, and people were like, what? People literally took their ballots and put it in a KFC bucket. That's America and democracy. Anyway, what's going on in America? If you're going to call the Ohio state representative, make sure that you're respectful and be upset, but be respectful and ask why. Anywho, there's 381 or 382 days to the inauguration of Andrew Yang, so fingers crossed. Let's see here. Humanity for Yang in the videos today is talking about a lot of stuff. He's got the Iowa Press sit-down, and it is by far the best sit-down that I've seen thus far. Not only were the questions extremely relevant, and they were centered directly at Andrew, but he answered them with such finesse that it wasn't basically part of his stump speech. It was authentic, like all of us want this to be. Starting to get rained on. Hopefully we'll make it through without a big pour down. You know how Hawaii weather is. All right, at 119 he talks about how he felt about what happened in Iran and how he would do it differently. At 140 he gives Congress the power again to declare war. Says that at some point along the line after 9/11 we took away Congress's role in action about being able to declare war. Shouldn't be in the hands of the current POTUS. 238, he was asked, would there ever be a good time for war as president? His answer at 310, the forever wars, and why there's really no reason to go to war unless you have the choice. 438, he explains the freedom dividend again. That took a while. At 1013, he explains the idea of trickle up in the combination with the UBI and how a better and safer capitalist structure can be formed with us all participating. If you want to put money into certain areas, give the money to the people. Do not take it out of the hands. At 1455, he talks about our data and how it's ownership. If you look up bowling balls and toothpaste for a week, inevitably some ad will come up in any of your feeds, and it will be offering you that. Do you think it's coincidence? It isn't. All right, at 1550, Julian Castro dropped out. Andrew talked about how he texted him, talked to him, and honestly, Yang Gang hug for anybody that's interested in Andrew's policies from the Castro clan. Let's see, 1622. He was asked a question about New Hampshire and is it more important than Iowa? And Andrew basically said he treats both of the states like brother-sister states. You can't treat one kid differently than the other. He's been something like 24, 26 times to both states. Both people know them there. Like when he goes, people know. There are huge signs. There's a media blackout. So hashtag poll the people, hashtag media blackout for Andrew Yang. You will see in the last 4 or 5 months how the Yang Gang's been stepping up and saying, we want to hear from our candidate. Poll the people. If you don't have polls, we're never going to know. You won't make it to the next debate. Anywho, 1650, he said history will be made right here on February 3rd, meaning Iowa. And he's right. History will be made. That's why this channel's here. So you on the Big Island are informed. Our first meeting is January 5th, which is tomorrow, 3 to 5 at the Hilo Pavilion. 1715 talks about pull the people. 18, why he ran for president, why he's not just running for a smaller office. Every journalist that doesn't do any research on who he is, besides the fact he's an entrepreneur, that doesn't understand the fact that he's not a politician, lumps him in with certain types of candidates, whether it's Reagan, whether he even commented on how Roosevelt and Carter, they had small offices until they came up, and Andrew said, if I waited to take an office now, it would take forever, and the problems we have facing us, nobody's talking about, which is why we are voting for him, which is why we're backing him. The people are backing him. So check it out. In 1932, he talks about the universal healthcare system, how it is M4A, and it is exactly what it sounds like. He doesn't want to pull the rug out of 600,000 people who work in the private industry of insurance, and slowly weeding that out by having people choose the basic option is going to be the best. The more people support it, the more it's going to be a tangible resource for us to have. At 2048, his thoughts on a free college. He explains what a lot of people are thinking. Buttigieg had a really kickback saying that why would you pay for rich kids' parents, rich kids to go to school? And the idea of the kickdown with Andrew is he's talking about is there's a certain level of when you put $1,000 in each person's hands, they now have $12,000 of income that they did not have to put toward college if they want. What we need to do is put people into trades like plumbing, construction, things that are tangible for the future. When AI and automation takes over those types of jobs, or people can write code for it, we are going to need a workforce of people. And if we're hovering around 5 to 10% in comparison to, like, I think he uses the example of maybe Germany or something, they're like 58%, meaning we're having less plumbers, we're having less carpenters, we're having less butchers, we're having less candlestick makers, butcher, baker, candlestick makers. What he's talking about, when the AI becomes an issue and people are actually talking about it, we will be too late, as we are too late for climate crisis. All right, that's the next thing. 2228 talks about climate crisis. And then they wrap it up on 2355 on Andrew wants Iowans and entrepreneurs and how he feels about the dividend and how bringing money into society will help people become their own bosses and break this tie from needing to work a job just for the insurance. I know we're running a little long, but that was a great speech that they had on the Humanity for All at the town hall at Perry. If you haven't seen that, check out the whole video. It's great. Humanity for Yang again. The third video, it talks about what Andrew would have done differently about Trump, the Forever Wars, All right, yghbi Arts, basically giving a shout out to our friend Ryan. Thanks for playing the new Yang 2020 video game. It's very cool. Road to Victory. If you haven't seen the game or you are a gamer or not, it's still interesting. Dominic and Bernice, shout out to the ladies. Thank you for giving us a shout out on the show yesterday. I always really enjoy what you have to say. If you haven't checked out the ladies yet, they bring up things that are important to them, and they're extremely close to things that are important to you and extremely close to the things that are important to me. Check it out. The Hill. The Hill is my #1 go-to source for non-biased journalism. Thank you again. They break down Andrew's momentum from 2019 to 2020. It's very interesting to see the perspective with the charts, data, in comparison to the other Democratic candidates, and then, of course, to the conservative side of things. But they also have journalists from the other side stating their case, so it's great open debate. At 150, they talked about Dr. Jermaine Johnson, who's in South Carolina, talking about yghbi could drastically change South Carolina and small-town communities that desperately need infrastructure. They desperately need some sort of funding to keep the cities and towns alive, or else they're gone. And also at 5:30, how Andrew is a breath of fresh air, which is awesome. Yeah, you could catch all these videos and more on Outside the Box. It says it's an old but an important video. I think it was from Charleston, and once again breaks down all the different characteristics that got the momentum going for Yang. All right, not to lose your Detective Lewis at 126. He got all the qualifications, but it seems like the Ohio write-in ballot is going to be the only way to get Andrew on the ballot in Ohio. Apparently, there's some small script that was written a long time ago that says if there's more than 3,000 written-in signatures, or more than 3,000 signatures for a ballot, that somehow it could be dismissed. It just doesn't make sense to me, but it is in the fine detail. This video goes into a little bit more depth. Detective Lewis down there in the description. He also talks about at 3:07 in there about a potential legal battle for the Yang and against the Ohio state government. At 4:20, There's actually a written part of the Ohio state law that signatures could be denied if there's more than 3,000. Absolutely crazy. And lastly, on this video today, I found a new odd thing. It's called Yip Zone is the channel, and it's a gentleman, I believe, who's a gamer, and he programmed all the games that he's doing to have Yang gear. So Andrew Yang's driving the car. There's one where it's truckers for Yang, just like Fred the Felon, and it has it all decked out. So you can use GPS to go through the towns and cities. It's actually really cool. So I put 3 of those videos in the description below. Anywho, our meeting is tomorrow, January 5th, 3 to 5 at the Hilo Pavilion, right across from the farmer's market near the big banyan tree. Huge pavilion, can't miss it. Wear your Yang gear, bring a friend, bring your family, and remember, represent. We are the Yang Gang. If you have any questions, email us at yangganghawaii@gmail.com. Leave comments below, and please subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. Aloha.